Hello, welcome back to What Even Is Life with me, your host, Brandon Owens. And as you know, this podcast it's usually about shower thoughts or something you don't usually think about or something you want to talk about but never have the time to actually do it. So today's special guest is somebody who I've known and loved dearly since my freshman year of college. He is currently a music education major here at OU, and he's a beast on the guitar. Ladies and gentlemen, I welcome Matt Keitz. Hello, Matt.
Hello, my man.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. I'm very good. And actually, Brandon Owens, I wanted to start by saying what I think is my first memory of you.
Okay.
I remember it was I think my second day at the university. We
Mhm.
were in choir class
Okay.
and we were singing this tune and we're going along, and Mike Mitchell stops the choir. He just points at you and he just goes,
Oh,
"You have the voice of an angel."
oh my gosh, that was the first day, actually. He literally pointed at me and said, "This guy is gonna be a star." I said, "Me?" And mind you, we were freshmen. I'm like, "What do you mean I'm gonna be a star? I You don't even know me like that yet."
It was awesome. It was so
Oh,
cool. And I was like, I need to meet this man. I need
I
to find this guy Brandon Owens.
No, Matt, your energy has been keeping me going throughout college. I've never told you that, but, like, anytime I just see you in random passing and you just say hi to me, like, that makes my day so much better. Like, you are the saving grace of OU, honestly.
Dude, I think that about you, man.
Oh my
I
god,
remember
really?
freshman year, I'd always see you at Hamlin Hall
Yep.
every day. You'd be with your friends
Mhm.
and you always say so hi. And I would just go, Brandon Owens, my man.
No, because you are my man, Matt Keys. And you are a third-year music major. How's that been going for you?
It's been fun. I have a blast actually. I get to take a lot of different ensembles, theory, music history, music
Mhm.
education. I really enjoy the music making part. Like I love practicing, I love rehearsing. I don't really love so much like the academic side of things. Like I hate sitting still. Like anything that
Mhm.
involves sitting still.
Oh, yeah, you hate standing still, sitting still, you just hate being still. This
Yeah.
this man has had to get told multiple times to calm down because 'cause we're usually singing some piece that he enjoys. That man can he's just flapping his hair everywhere. Everyone knows Matt Keys is on the stage.
It's
He's
not intentional, like, I'm not trying to attention whore, like, sometimes we just be singing Handel, and I'm just
he
so excited.
loves some Handel, okay? Like, I think your favorite time of year is symphony chorus. I just feel like you love symphony chorus because we get to do some cool classical piece.
Yeah, it's awesome. This year, we sang Haydn's Mass in Times of War, which is, like, this really unique concert mass that
Mhm.
Haydn wrote, and what's cool about this piece is he wrote it during the Napoleonic Wars,
Mm,
and so the entire piece it's constantly being balance between really raging and aggressive louds
okay.
and the most beautiful and serene quiets. And I think I've been thinking about it recently. And to me, the way I read that is is that he's sort of trying to capture the instability of what a war is
Mhm.
and how damaging and violent and unsafe a war is, and then what can happen after a war, which is that people come together like they never have before, and people start rebuilding, and people start restructuring, and there's this sense of peace, this sense of safety that you get after a war. Not that I've experienced a war, but it's that piece of music to me resembles that concept in a way where I haven't experienced with other pieces of music. I love rehearsing it.
See, I like to think of Matt as, like, music philosophy. Like, this man will go into a deep dive on every single piece you will give him. Like, I remember was it last year? We did this one song, what was it? It was the one about the children, like, the families taken away from homes.
Oh, the Lakota Sioux.
Yeah, what was
That
the name of the song? Do you remember?
I don't remember. It was a piece of music using the language of the
Yeah.
Lakota Sioux
Was it
tribe.
Shantae Washte?
Yes, something like that.
It was that one. Yeah, I remember you and a few others did, like, a whole presentation, did background research. Do you wanna, like, talk about what that experience was like doing that research?
Yeah, honestly, I don't remember it super well. Basically, in our choir class, it was the winter semester of our first year.
Mhm.
And we were singing a piece of music that was using text and language of the Lakota Sioux.
Yeah.
And I remember it, I think it was a poem about fertility of the earth, something like that.
I remember that language was, like, dying because, like, that language was getting, like, shut out, and that music is what's keeping it alive. Is that's what the motive was, right?
Yeah, one of the aspects of the performance is that our choir director, Mike Mitchell, wanted a few of us to do some personal research
Mhm,
on the Lakota Sioux tribe and talk a little bit about their philosophy, their culture, their music, how they express themselves,
mhm.
so that before we sang the piece, we could present a little bit so that the audience knew a little bit more about the Lakota Sioux
Yeah,
Americans. And so I think 4 of us picked different aspects of the Lakota Sioux and
yeah,
presented. I presented on I presented on the Native American removal,
yeah,
the sort of different oppressions that that particular tribe has experienced over the past 100, 200 years or so.
yeah.
And I remember it was sad research,
Oh, absolutely. No, it was sad to hear about it.
but in a way, it was meaningful because that audience, being mostly parents of students at university,
Mhm,
and most of those students being white and middle class, I would imagine many of those parents haven't taken the time to think about a Native American population that really isn't that dominant here in Michigan.
mhm.
If I remember correctly, they're most dominant in, like, the southwestern part of the US. I could be wrong, please fact check me if you're listening. But I would imagine that many people in that audience weren't familiar with the Lakota Sioux, and that was an opportunity for them to learn about a people group that they had never interacted with maybe, and definitely probably haven't heard their music. And I thought it was a beautiful thing to get.
I will say I do appreciate that background research because we talked about it because you guys gave a little presentation in our class before you got to present it to the Presbyterian Church, which is where we hold all of our concerts, and it definitely made performing the piece way more emotional than it was because, typically, sometimes you don't understand the music and you're just singing lyrics because that's your task, that's your job, but when you start putting your all and then your research and then your emotions into it, it makes the song and the energy surrounding the song so much more authentic and more real, you know? And that's what I love a lot about our choirs because we don't just sing the music, we are the music, you know? Like I remember our freshman year, we did Come Sweet Death by Bach. And we did the hand motions, we did the little choreography with it, and that was, like, one of my first taste of Oakland University choirs. I knew I was in good hands since then.
That was an amazing
Mhm,
for people listening who may not know what that particular piece is. Basically, some 20th century composer took a Bach chorale, Kommsustertad, excuse my German pronunciation, that's horrible, and basically said, "You're gonna sing the chorale, and then you're going to turn it into, like, an aleatoric sound wash,"
mm,
where basically, after the choir sings through this Bach chorale, each person sings through the chorale on their own, and the gimmick is that you hold out each pitch as long as your instrument can personally handle. So
mhm,
everyone starts in the same C minor triad, and then it, like, unravels and swirls and twists into this weird soundscape,
yeah,
but then over the course of, like, 5 minutes, slowly resolves in back to that C minor triad,
mhm.
and it's stunning.
What I love most about that is, like, while you're singing it, you're not hearing it because 'cause you're performing it, and it's supposed to also resemble the sound of angels. It's supposed to be, like, what you hear, like, when you're, like, dying and then, like, you're going up to heaven, and it's a truly magical piece, and that is personally one of my favorites I ever got to do in university course. I actually recently just had this conversation with Laurente about Laurente. He's gonna be on the episode I post before this one, so it'll make sense. Um, he talked about how much he loved Cantate Domino.
Yeah, freshman year.
Yes, freshman year was really good. I loved all of our pieces for that. And then, sophomore year, what was something you enjoyed doing sophomore year?
Oh, goodness, I'd have to think about what we did last.
That's also why I'm having you ask first because I needed to think.
Oh, wow. So last year, our our major work was that Boito piece, the Mephistopheles.
Oh my gosh, I
But
forgot about
in our
that.
choir class, I can't remember
Hmm.
what we did. I think the thing that I think of first was that Radiohead.
Oh,
Our choir
yes.
performed a
We
Radiohead
did Everything in Its Right Place by Radiohead.
that was strange.
Oh my
That was one of
gosh.
the more out there things I've done at this university.
If that's out there for you, that says something.
Yeah, because basically it's just a, like, pretty normal Radiohead tune,
Yeah.
but, everything in its right place. If you don't know it, I think it's on Kid A. Please excuse me
Yeah,
if I
because
mess that up. I'm not a Radiohead
no, it
fan.
is because in the original song, they say Kid A.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that record, which is a, very phenomenal, weird prog rock alternative
Yeah.
thing. Basically, choral arranger arranged this Radiohead tune into a four-part choral piece,
Yeah.
but then he had me play the guitar, the
You
electric guitar,
sure
and
did.
then Dave Meddy played the drums.
Mhm.
And then in the last third of the song, we basically went back to the chorus, but did the same thing we did with that Bach chorale, which is like an aleatoric soundscape where
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah,
everyone
yeah.
basically sang the main melody and repeated it at their own speed, at their own pace, and with their own inflection to just create this really bizarre soundscape where everybody is
Yeah.
like singing the same thing, but starting at a different part of the
Right,
pulse.
because it can vary in how fast and how slow you wanna sing it. Because with the Bach piece, everyone had to start slow and just kinda drag it out, but with the Radiohead piece, you can go as fast as you want, and I remember there was a couple people behind me who were saying it really fast, and it threw me off at the performance. I said, "No, I really like this piece." But I love that piece. I love Okay, because Dr. Mitchell, his mind is so powerful. You never know what's going on in his head. You don't know what he's gonna have us perform, like what our set's gonna look like. And that's something I look forward to every single semester because it's like you're gonna get like some cool classical piece, but then he's like, I'm feeling like pop rock, very alt today. And then put a random piece like that on our set. Cause for the Oakland Chorale, we did a Mirrorball by Elbow.
Yes,
Yes, and I didn't even know who Elbow was. Sorry to Elbow fans out there, everybody. But yeah, he was like, yeah, Elbow was a cool band. Was it the 90s, I
that
believe?
tune is from like the
The
2000s.
2000s. Okay, it wasn't that far off. But yeah, and it was a really cool piece. I forgot the arranger. I have the music. It was really cool. I'm not as educated as Matt is on music, so I'm just like on vibes, but he's like on 10 and I love it.
I really enjoyed the performance of that, and I remember
Mhm.
being really weirded out for a split second when
Uh-huh.
he announced on stage that you guys would be performing a song by Mirrorball,
Mhm.
or not Mirrorball, by
That
Elbow.
elbow?
Excuse me, the track Mirrorball by Elbow.
Yeah.
Because I was really thrown off because I was like, Mirrorball, like, kind of a fairly obscure band for a choir to be singing, and he went on the stage and he asked, "Does anybody know the band Mirrorball?" Or
Uh-huh.
sorry, why did I keep
Elbow,
does anyone know the band Elbow?
elbow.
That's
Yeah.
how much I know about Elbow. And, like, I'd heard of them, and so I raised my hand, and there was, like, maybe one other person in
It was
there.
like 3
Yeah,
people.
and I think Mike Mitchell got a kick out of that. I think he enjoyed the fact that his choir was performing this pretty strange arrangement of a
Mhm.
2000s prog rock tune.
Yeah. It was weird because, like, it is that pop rock tune, but we're singing it in such a very classical, elegant way, you kinda forget, "Wait a minute, this is not a classical piece." And that's also what I like about performing these songs, like, when we did, Everything in Its Right Place, like, everyone knows that song. Like, if you don't know Radiohead, you know that song, but everyone knows Radiohead, and no one knows what Elbow is. I really hope we do more cool pieces like that, like, when we get an artist that we don't really know that well and kinda bring their artistry to life. I love that aspect of music for sure.
Yeah, choir is kind of a strange thing in my life because I never did it really before
Yeah,
university.
you
My
were
background is in guitar, my
mm?
primary instrument's guitar,
Yeah.
and in high school, I played cello in the string orchestra.
You played
I
cello?
did for 5 years, and
No way.
I did, like, 1 or 2 trimesters my school had trimesters. I did 1 or
Yeah, I
2
remember trimesters.
trimesters of choir in my high school, but I did not like it at all.
Mm,
So when I came to Oakland to be a music ed major, I had to have a large ensemble requirement.
Yeah.
And at first, I wanted to do orchestra again because that's what I had done throughout high school. But I was kind of encouraged, join the choir. All the guitar players and the piano players join choir because it's no work. All you have to do is show up. You don't have to practice. But in an orchestra, I'd have to practice.
Mhm.
That's kind of the way they market it to me. So I was like, all right, I'll be really busy, doing all my guitar stuff and theory class and all that. So I'll just do choir. And I remember my first day, I was so uncomfortable. Like, I was
Really?
just sitting there and I was like, "What do you want me to do?" Like, I didn't really know the choral repertoire that well. I really enjoyed a lot of Renaissance and Baroque choral music, so I loved Palestrina, I loved Bird, I loved Handel, I loved Bach, I loved, Vivaldi, Gloria, all that stuff.
Yeah.
So I loved the repertoire, but, like, I didn't wanna sing, and I remember not enjoying it at all until the day he handed us that Bach chorale, and I was like, "Alright, we're singing Bach
Oh.
chorales, let's go."
Your face lit up when you saw Bach. I said, "Whoa." I've never seen anyone this passionate about anything
He's my
ever.
favorite composer, probably. Him and Handel are, like, my two guys.
And we've done Handel too.
We did one Handel piece, yeah, we
Mhm.
sang, this chorus from one of his oratorios. I think it was
No, I'll know it when I hear it.
I don't well, the tune was what was the name of it?
It's crazy. It was not that long ago, but it
Da, da,
felt
da.
like it.
I was just thinking about it 5 minutes ago, we were talking about it. Oh, "Music Spread Thy Voice Around." But
Oh
it's from an
my god!
oratorio. It's a chorus from one of his oratorios.
Yeah.
I love that tune. Oh, I loved
Oh
that
my gosh.
tune.
I almost got the solo for that. I remember that.
Yes, there was, like, a countertenor solo at the beginning.
Exactly, and I was like, "Oh, countertenor. Oh, that's what did I need?"
Did you tried out singing
I
the countertenor?
I did try out, yeah. I didn't get it, but no, AVL got it and they killed it, so
Drevosville, Lescano gave
love them
performance at the
so
same time.
much. Okay. No, they killed it. So I was like and I think I was sick that time too, so it was a blessing in disguise.
Yeah, that was an awesome piece.
Mhm.
I wish we sang more Handel, more Bach.
You should convince him.
Actually, well, yeah, the other day, I ran him in the hallway, and we were talking about music and repertoire for next semester,
Yeah.
and I asked him if we could sing my favorite movement from my favorite Handel coronation anthem,
Uh-huh.
"Let Thy Right Hand Be Strengthened," and he, saved it to his computer. He said it's pretty possible.
Okay.
But I don't know if I'll actually be in choir next year, so
Oh, no.
I'm not
How
totally
so?
sure. I might actually, play in the orchestra, the cello. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I wanna get back into cello,
Oh my
um, so
gosh.
I might do that. I don't know, it's not nothing's confirmed
No,
yet,
that'll
but
be cool. No, I'll support you either way.
honestly, it actually has a lot to do with Handel and Bach,
Mhm.
which is that my favorite music in the classical music repertoire is music from the Baroque period. So that's
Mm.
Telemann, Bach, Vivaldi, Handel, all those guys. And in choir, I think we've sang 3 pieces in total from that period.
Mhm.
Nothing from the Renaissance too, but, just, like, 3 pieces. Whereas the chamber orchestra, they do, like, a full concerto grosso every semester
Mm.
or a full, Vivaldi violin concerto, or they do a full like, just at the last concert, they did they did the Vivaldi double for cello,
Right.
and they did the 3rd Brandenburg Concerto by Bach, and I was like, "Man, like, I miss the cello, and what am I doing in choir? I could be doing this." So I might join next year. We'll see.
I mean, I'm gonna obviously encourage you to utilize your talents in its best ways. Like, you've given the choir, like, 3 years of your life, you know?
Yeah, I'm not good at cello. I play, like, probably like an average high schooler,
Mhm. Okay.
but, I mean, I'm not good at singing, you know?
But you are good at music.
I'm probably a little bit better at cello than I am at singing.
No yeah, okay. I've never heard you play before
Yeah, I mean, I haven't really played a cello since high school, but
since high
I still
school.
remember all the fingerings and actually,
Okay.
no, that's a lie because I took string methods last semester.
Okay.
So I played it last semester. I had a good time.
Nice. Yeah, I was see, like, Matt also knows me because I was a music major for a year. Well, I started off as a music minor, and then I changed it to a major the next semester, and, let's just say it was not what I expected it to
I
be.
remember first semester, you were tweaking out during theory 1
Oh,
because you could not comprehend the difference between a diminished and augmented triad. Like,
I
I'll never forget it. You're sitting at that table with Debbie, and you're just like, "What is this? What are you talking about?"
I was so much better at oral skills than music theory.
Yeah, a lot of singers are.
I am no, I'm a singer down. Those oral skills was so much easier than, like, oh my gosh, I had never passed a single exam.
Yeah, theory's challenging.
It is so challenging. I don't know how any of you guys do it.
If you grew up doing classical music, if you
Yeah,
grew up in orchestra or band or like a good choir program that taught that stuff, you've been using Western notation for a long time if you're in that scenario.
yeah,
So theory is not that, you know, radical for, like a pretty solid um, orchestral player or a very solid singer.
yeah,
But if you come from, like, a high school choir program where, like, the teacher didn't really enforce sight singing that much and didn't really teach basic theory like circle of fifths and major minor scales, if you didn't go over that stuff in high school and you just kinda learned by the teacher plucking out notes on the piano, which unfortunately is how a lot of high school choirs do it,
yeah.
you come in and you're shocked. A lot of incoming vocal students tweak out when it comes to
Y
theory at first.
yeah, I happen to be one of those people. I mean, I'm really good at, like, sight reading music because that's what I was taught in high school, but when it comes to, like, let's say circle of fifths, major minor scales, I'm like,
And that's okay.
"Ooh,
You
you
really
lost
don't
me
have to
there."
you do not have to know Western music theory to be a good musician. If it's relevant to the music you study, you should know it.
Mhm.
But for someone like you, you're a wonderful singer, crushing the choirs.
Thank
You
you.
know, being able to spell, augmented six chords isn't necessary for you as a musician. That's
Right.
okay. It's not a
No,
bad thing.
I learned that the hard way. So, changing my major from music was really heartbreaking because I appreciated classes like Western tonal music, had that class together because we had 8 AM Shively. Getting up that morning was torture, and we lived in Hamlin, and if you go to OU, Hamlin and Varner in the wintertime, that's
It's
torture.
a walk. When
It
it's -5 and you gotta
oh,
walk, I think it's like a 15-minute walk
it's a
to get from
15-minute walk,
Hamlin
absolutely.
to it's, that wind chill.
Okay.
It gets through the boots.
Oh, I almost fell like actually, I did fall once, then I almost fell another time, and I had this cup, right? I slipped and I fell, and then the cup broke, and then it was like a puddle of water. You can just see little bits of my cup floating away. It was so funny. And my knee was hurting all throughout class too, like, I could not even function. And can I tell you, I feel like I was set up for that class. Everybody else in that class has at least a theory 1. I was the only one who has it. Yeah, I don't know how I passed.
That was actually, I think, my favorite class that I've ever taken here,
Mhm.
'cause
No,
it was on Baroque music.
yeah, you were killing that class real bad.
But yeah, like, I understand your position, like, if you had never, played music from Mozart or
Mhm.
from Monteverdi, like, that class is kinda overwhelming,
Like,
you know?
she would ask questions about, like, how you would play the music, and then everybody would answer with no issue, and I'm like,
Yeah, because that's just not your background, which is totally fine. A lot of those students in there had background in orchestral music, so they've played Mozart string quartets. They've played Beethoven sonatas. So when
Yeah.
she would ask questions like that, that was just rare for them. But for you, that was overwhelming.
Yeah, I was severely overwhelmed. It only came to, like, the academic portion of music school. I loved it like, when I did studio, when I did voice lessons. Like, my favorite class when I did music school was vocal techniques, literally. As a vocalist, I loved vocal techniques because I got to learn different cool parts on how to, like, rest your voice, how to save it, how to utilize it in the best way possible, and then when I got scoped, I was, like, mind blown. I'm like, "That's how my folds look like in there?"
Do you have healthy folds?
Yeah, I was sick that day, so it was really inflamed. Oh my gosh, I was sick all the time freshman year, but that's because my body was not adjusting to the college life like I thought it was.
Isn't there a term for that? Like a lot of freshmen go to college and get sick a bunch.
Yeah, a term? No, but I do know the culture.
Okay, I thought there was like a term. They call it like the freshman flu or something.
The freshman
Maybe I'm
flu?
tweaking. I don't know.
No, you're definitely right, because when I first lived in Hamlin, I was having really bad motion sickness.
Oh, really?
Yeah, every day, like, I felt like I was falling down an elevator.
Dude. Yeah. Yeah, makes sense. I mean, my first month in Hamlin, I got a cold, I think, and I ended up getting bronchitis for, like,
What?
I think a whole 2 months, and honestly, I was chilling. I had the longest case of bronchitis, and I didn't even care.
Oh my god. What?
Yeah, and then I gave the bronchitis to my roommate's girlfriend, which
Oh,
I felt bad about.
how is that even possible?
I don't know, well, 'cause, I also got her sick, and then she also got bronchitis, so I don't know.
Well, when you get sick, I'm staying far away from you.
Beth, if you're listening, I'm sorry. I miss hanging out with you when you were dating Roman, good times, good times.
Yeah, y'all were
Roman's
right.
still my roommate.
He
Me and
is?
roommate Roman have been living together since freshman year, except he's leaving
Really?
me next fall. Oh,
Oh,
he's leaving me in the fall.
oh, is he graduating?
No, he's just gonna go move in with Jasper.
Oh, okay.
I feel offended.
Oh, mm.
Nah, just kidding.
At least you've lived with, like, friends. I've have not.
Have you not had good roommate experiences?
Aw.
Aw.
But, like, don't worry, I'm living with some friends next year. I'm living with Debbie and Julia, actually.
Oh, that'll be great. Those 2
Yeah.
seem like a great people to live with.
Yeah, I knew I wanted my last year here to just end with a cool experience, so I was like, "Let's try it out."
So you're finishing in 2 more semesters.
Yes, I have 2 more semesters and I'm out of here.
Cool.
Oh, that major change did nothing. It was perfect.
So, okay, I always get worried when people have to change their majors because
Oh, yeah.
sometimes it messes up people's tracks.
I was worried about that at first, but when I switched over, all my music classes became electives now. So that was just like one less class I had to worry about each semester. And my Western tonal class counts as an art credit now.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So it's a really cool experience. And I still get to sing, which was something I wanted to do, music major or not, like be really involved in the music program as much as I could. And I'm very grateful that OU's music department allows non-music majors to still be a part of these cool things. Like I'm in the jazz singers group, I do a cappella, and I'm in the Oakland Chorale, and that's just really big deals for me. And I love that I still get to have a hand in that, you know?
I wish I was able to see you in the Golden Grizzlies a couple weeks ago. I wish
It
I was
was
able to be there.
it was a really cool experience. I enjoyed it.
What did you sing?
We did oh gosh, we did this song called Moonray. We did Close to You. I don't know the names of the composers. We also did We Go. If any jazz birds know these music, perfect. What else we did Misty.
Oh, that's cool.
And I remember when AVL did it freshman year as a solo, and they killed it. So and they turned that original Misty into, like, this samba, borderline bossa nova piece, and, oh my gosh, fire. I loved it. And then I one of my specialties in jazz is improvisation. I love a good scat solo, and, we did a piece called Après Vave, and then it's, like, this really fast piece, and we had 3 improv solos. It was me and then my good sister Sophia Alshabi and then Bella Ray. We all got to do some sort of improvisation solos and we all killed it. So, yeah, I still have another year. You should come see the jazz concert.
Yeah, I will. I heard it was a really good show. I think it's one of the coolest things about our school that how many ensembles we have. We have
Oh my
African
gosh.
ensemble, a steel band, a Caribbean
Steel
steel band,
right.
jazz choirs, a jazz band, a big band,
Mhm.
a Latin jazz band that just plays Latin charts. There's pretty much an ensemble for everything.
There really is.
Brass band even, there's so much stuff here that if you are even remotely musical, you'll never run out of opportunities.
Mhm. I just love how inclusive the program is overall to anybody. Like, if you wanna play an instrument, you could join any of the band ensembles here.
Yeah, because some of those ensembles I talked about are pretty accessible, they're beginner friendly, like, you could not be a musician in the slightest and join African ensemble or steel band. There's a place for you in those ensembles, which is really cool because sometimes academic music can be really, inaccessible to
Yeah,
people who didn't grow up with that. If you didn't grow up studying an orchestral instrument, or if you did not grow up singing in a choir, you know, there's not really much of a place for you in some music programs because that's the only thing they do.
right,
Thankfully, a school like this that has a jazz program, a world music program, there's opportunities for, any random engineering major who wants to
right,
try out, the Caribbean steel drums and just like jam and
right?
slap.
And what I love most about being in the jazz groups is, like, I prior to freshman year of college, I haven't done jazz since my sophomore year of high school. And, I was like and I didn't initially audition either. The director needed more lower voices to join the group, so shout out to you, Julia Carlisle. She convinced me to join jazz the winter semester of 2024, And then I emailed him and I was like, "Hey, I wanna join." He said, "Great, sign up." I'm like, "Whoa, was that easy?" I don't gotta audition or nothing. I actually just auditioned for the group again today. And yeah, I signed up. I came to rehearsal the first day and he welcomed me with open arms and we immediately got into learning the music. And I'm like, "Oh, it's that easy." Or no, the process was really cool. Like, I was a little nervous at first because it was my first time doing jazz in like years. So, but Scott made it very comfortable. The environment was really chill. Like, jazz is supposed to be fun. And I'm glad that jazz is getting that recognition that it deserves, you know?
Yeah, and how lucky are you to be able to work with someone like Scott?
Oh
Scott
my,
Cornell is one of the most legendary jazz musicians in Detroit,
I
and the fact that
agree.
he teaches here is crazy.
He teaches in 3 different schools, mind you. He teaches at Michigan State, Wayne, and here. I don't know where he finds the time to do any of that.
He has to be one of the best jazz pianists in the world. The
Abs
fact he's not at Juilliard or something kinda
I know, oh my gosh. Like, have you been to Aretha's before?
I haven't actually. I
Oh,
need to all my friends go.
mad. You have to go. You need to go to a jazz jam on Sundays. Like, and hear Scott just play for anybody, and he knows literally every jazz standard in the world. So if you just tell him, "I'm gonna do so and so," he's like, "Okay," and he's ready to just play for you. I'm like, "That is a professional."
Yeah, that's what a good jazz musician is.
That's why he gets the gigs because he knows what he's doing, and I love that he trains, like, us singers to, like, be prepared to do any jazz tune at any moment. Like, he tells us how to, like, sing jazz music, how to follow the rhythms, follow the beats and everything. He's like training everybody. Like, he trained, this girl, Kayla Stuss. Do you know her, right?
Yes, I know her.
Yes, yeah, he basically trained her into being a phenomenal jazz performer, and she's at grad school at Wayne State for it, and I'm like, "That's such a cool opportunity because she started off like she was just like a musical theater major who just did choir and all that, and then she found out she had this jazz talent, and then now she's going off to doing good things, you know?"
Yeah, I remember seeing her in the jazz choirs our
Mhm.
freshman year and thinking she was phenomenal. I remember when I
Okay.
found out that she was gonna go to graduate school for it, and
Mhm.
it just seemed so fitting for her.
I know, like, she's put in the time because she did an extra year at OU to get her bachelor's in interdisciplinary studies for I think it was contemporary music, so she can gain those skills so that she can be prepared for grad school,
Oh,
which
wow.
I think is even really cool. And I got to hear her perform because I think the Aretha's had, like, a 15th year anniversary jazz jam, and a bunch of, like, OU alum and just a bunch of jazz singers got to come back and sing a bunch of tunes, and she was one of them, and it was beautiful.
Martina was telling me how amazing that show was.
Oh my gosh, because yeah, Martina was a part of it, and don't get me started on Martina. That she is one of the most talented people I've ever met, ever.
Genuinely one of the best musicians I've ever been in a room with,
Mhm.
which is just bananas to me.
Yes. I love how multifaceted she is. Like, she if you wanna sing, she'll sing for you. She wants the piano, she'll play it for you. She's very educated, she's very smart. Like, that is a musician.
Yeah. She's a 21-year-old woman who is borderline concert pianist level, who can
Yes.
also improvise over pretty much any jazz chart, not just on her
Yeah.
primary instrument, but on the voice
On
too.
The Voice too. Like, she had a solo in Moonray, and her voice is just so silky smooth, like, I could hear her sing all day. Yeah.
She's one of my best friends at Oakley. I met her, like, the first week we were here because we took theory together, oral skills together.
Mhm.
All of our
All
classes
the
we took
classes.
together, and we became really close because we pretty much sat next to each other in every class pretty much,
Yeah.
and whenever her or I would get bored, we would just, like, write nonsense on each other's papers and notebooks and just just harass each other.
Oh, that's
And,
funny.
I'm so thankful I've gotten to know her and hang out with her, and she played on my or sang, I'm sorry, she sang on my freshman recital, which was
Yes!
really
Oh my gosh, y'all did this duet together. I was in love with it.
yeah, we performed Lullaby of Birdland.
Yes, I love that song so much.
Yeah, I'm very thankful she was able to play
Mhm.
or sing with me.
Yeah. Well, that was us nerding out on music. I know there was a couple other things you wanted to talk about today. I know you wanted to be more aware of where I grew up.
I
right?
did, because you grew up in Pontiac, which
I
has
sure
become
did.
one of my favorite towns in Michigan.
I'm so glad you said that. Like, no one really gives it the cred that it usually does.
No, that's the thing is I grew up and anytime I heard anything about Pontiac, it was just how it's, not a safe town and it's crazy there and they're poor. And then when I started coming here, I started going to Pontiac all the time because it's right next door. And I
Yeah.
noticed 2 things. First of all, nobody says Pontiac. They get rid of the T. They just say Pontiac.
I also say Pontiac.
They
I
they
don't
just
say the T.
I know, but now I can't undo the T, and I kinda feel like a poser for saying Pontiac because I don't know, like
Really?
yeah, I don't know, but that's the first thing I noticed is that
It is
no one says Pontiac.
it is funny every time you say Pontiac. I'm like, "What is a Pontiac?" I've never heard of
Yes,
that.
because everybody from there just says Pontiac. They don't say the T. But then the second thing I noticed was how awesome it is.
Oh
I
my
mean, the
gosh.
Crowfoot's there,
It sure is.
there's a really cool nightclub,
Mhm.
you know, well, my really close friend Will lives
Uh-huh.
there, and so we hang out all the time, and, there's some characters that walk around, for sure,
Right, right.
but it is a really cool city, and I just don't think it gets enough credit.
No, I agree. I mean, born and raised in Pontiac, obviously, and obviously I've had my experiences there, but and I went to elementary school there, no, preschool, elementary school, and then part of middle school there. I left the Pontiac district when I was going into 7th grade year because my grades were at an all-time low. And I'm like, I want to get into a good college. I have to start somewhere. But a lot of my good memories were from that place. And I've lived in an apartment my entire life. I've lived in my same apartment for before I started college, like 18 years. So I've made so many great memories in my apartment itself. And I remember my mom, she would be like ashamed because like she would have to raise me in such this unsafe, sad environment. And I'm like, it's a roof over my head, mother. There's people who are homeless. I'm very grateful to have somewhere to live. And it took me a long time to realize that because going from a predominantly Black elementary school to a diverse middle school and you see all kinds of people, all different types, like I started getting very insecure with how I was living because everybody would live in these nice houses with the beautiful families. And I'm gonna be honest, I used to be so mad at my mom for not putting me in a good environment like everyone else. And it took me to my freshman year of high school to realize I should be so grateful to even have somewhere to stay. And I apologized to my mom. I'm like, "I'm sorry that I was too young to realize what I actually have." Like, I would make her feel so bad sometimes, and I feel like and again, Pontiac is a city that it's acquired taste. Like, you either like it or you don't, you know? And there would be so many people who would tell me, like, "Oh, I'm scared to go to Pontiac. It's such an unsafe place. I don't feel comfortable going there, blah, blah, blah." And I'm like, "You know, you're talking to a Pontiac native, right? Someone who's grew up in that place my entire life, and I've made a community there. I know so many people in that city, and so many Pontiac people come to OU.
Yeah, this university has a lot of Pontiac people.
And it makes me honored that I'm one of those residents that get to come here, because people look down on not only just Black people, but Black people who live in cities like Pontiac. Like, they just assume we will go nowhere with our lives, we're just all gonna be, like, hood rats on the streets and all of that, and just seeing the amount of Pontiac residents who go here definitely, like, shuts people up, and it definitely changes the narrative a lot, so
It was one of the first things I learned when I came here was how many OU students are from Pontiac
yeah.
and how cool they all are.
I agree. We're pretty cool.
Was it just you and your mom in that apartment, or was you
Yeah.
guys in there?
Okay. My grandmother would stay with us because she would help take care of my mom because I don't know if you know, but my mom is disabled. She has multiple sclerosis, and I'm not a medical person, so I can't give medical terms, but I know it affects the mind, the body. Like, it's usually something's always going on. There's usually always gonna be some problems, like, with her feet, her legs, her back, like, it reduces memory, like, she sometimes has amnesia, she can't walk, she needs a walker, wheelchair, all that, right? So my granny would like in a TV show, my granny was like a reoccurring guest. You'll see her every single day. She's always taking care of my granny, my mom, and yeah, there were times I forget she had her own house because she was always at my apartment.
She kinda helped raise you in a way.
Oh, no, yeah. I like to tell people I was raised by 3 women, my mom, my grandmother, and my late great-grandmother. And I think being raised by 3 women definitely shaped the young man I am today, for sure, and I give all my thanks to them for sure. Thank you.
I hope I get to meet them someday.
Oh my gosh. You'll definitely see my grandmother's she goes to all of my events here.
Okay, so I've probably walked past them at some point.
You've definitely seen her and you're probably like, "Oh, that's" if you see her, you know that's my grandmother.
Okay.
Our genes are very strong.
Well, next concert we have together,
Absolutely.
have to introduce me.
But enough about me. Talk about your life. How'd
What
you
do you
grow
wanna
up?
know, Brandon Owens?
Well, well, because I know you told me before we hopped on the pod that our scenery of where we lived was very different.
Yeah, so, yeah, the reason we started talking about Pontiac at all is because the town I grew up in was kind of like the polar opposite of Pontiac
Uh-huh.
in that,
So what town are you from?
I'm from a town in Michigan called Armada. It's
Armada.
about an hour away from here.
Okay.
It is essentially a cornfield town. It's a
Really?
farm town, yeah. So it's like 99.5% white people. Um,
Sounds great.
the 0.5% that's not white are, like, the Mexican immigrants that work on the farms, so it's like
Oh, okay.
there's very little diversity there.
Mhm.
Um, if you go there, you will basically see nothing but corn, Confederate flags, and MAGA hats,
Oh,
people driving tractors on the road, and so, like, I mean, I had a good time there in a strange way just 'cause, like, you know, there were people there who were cool, because there
okay.
were some people there that just came to Armada to go to school there because it had a pretty nice school district.
Really?
Yeah, which is kinda strange after I give you the description of Armada.
I'm like,
Um,
right, right.
yeah, you wouldn't expect to have a good school,
Go
but
to school there.
kids would, like, kinda, like, drive in for, like, 30 minutes away to go to school.
30
Yeah,
minutes?
it was a school of choice thing, so, like, kids would drive.
Ah, I did school of choice.
Mm.
That was how I ended up in the school I graduated from. Shout out school of choice.
You went to Avondale, right?
Yeah,
Dude, I always hear about how good their choir was there.
we like to back it up with our talent. Yeah,
But yeah,
but
like, so the point is though, like, there were cool people in Armada, and
yeah,
I had a decent time at the high school,
okay.
good folks, good teachers. But there was this thing that I did not interact with many people who did not look like me, other than,
Really?
internet friends, and when I would go to concerts and stuff, like, pretty much everybody in my high school was white.
Mhm,
And when there was discussion about places like Pontiac,
mhm,
places like Detroit,
right.
it was always a thing of like, "Oh, you don't wanna go there because the people there will mug you and they'll steal from you, and it's
R
violent there." But,
right.
now that I haven't really lived in Armada 3 years,
Yeah,
every time I go to Pontiac, every time I go to Detroit, I've experienced almost nothing but hospitality and love. Like, sure, there's places you maybe don't wanna walk around on at night alone,
mhm.
but for the most part, people are cool, real cool.
Yeah. No, yeah, I agree. I but again, since I was born and raised there, I'm comfortable with it. I don't know if I'll be comfortable going
No, on the last day of school, there's this tradition where kids drive their tractors and combines and dune buggies to school. So, yeah, everyone pulls up on their dirt bikes and they're with Trump flags waving off the back. It's pretty, but that's actually tame compared to what their tradition used to be. Oh, yes. So, at the Armada High School, that is the yearly tradition where everyone drives the four-wheeler to school. However, in the 2000s, the tradition was called Confederate Day, which is where everybody would come to school dressed up in Confederate memorabilia with Confederate flag belt
Oh.
buckles and hats and flags everywhere, and basically try to, like, I don't know, out Southern each other, which is weird because we live in Michigan. Which is it's weird because we live in the state of Michigan. Why are you repping the South? Like, first of all, they lost. So you're just kind of supporting the side that took an L. Second of all, they slaved people. Yo.
Yeah.
And so, like, shout out my history teacher, Jason Hundy. He actually, when he got hired at Armada, he like got Confederate Day shut down and they transitioned to Tractor Day.
Confederate
Which
Day.
Yes.
You wanna keep talking about it?
Oh, yeah, where are you going?
Just grabbing a charger.
Oh, sorry, Brandon just started walking upstairs, I was like, "What?" Oh, yeah, I never really, participated in tractor day. I did not drive a tractor. I definitely did not own a dirt bike. If I had a tractor, would I have driven to school? That's the question. Probably not, you know? I can think of a few things I would rather be seen in before a tractor. Like, on the list of things that I want representing my personhood, a tractor is pretty low on the list. And that's no diss to farmers or anything, God bless farmers. We need farmers. Most of them are beautiful people. It's just growing up in Armada, I the association I have with tractors, unfortunately, is Trump flags. Just because like, that was the thing is the kids would come to school and rep their Trump flags behind the tractor. And, no disrespect to you if you thought that voting for Donald Trump was gonna make America a better place, that's your free will, that's your choice. I would never disrespect you or look down on you for that, but that was just my association with tractors and Trump flags, which was, like, not the kindest folks.
Growing up in Armada, you said it was a very interesting experience for you, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's a good town. It's a safe town. Most people are really most people there are really lovely,
Okay.
but it's very homogeneous.
Mm,
Almost everyone there is is white.
right.
But strangely enough, there's actually a pretty wide socioeconomic gap.
Oh,
Like, despite it being pretty racially homogenous, there are people that live in Armada that are very rich, people that live in Armada that are very poor. And I always thought that was very strange how on the same street there could be somebody on food stamps, and then right next door is somebody who owns a yacht. And it always tripped me out
really?
how that could exist in a town.
Wow. Yeah, honestly, Pontiac's kind of the same way. Like, everyone just assumes everyone who lives in Pontiac is poor. I'm like, well, no, there's tons of people who can live comfortable while living in Pontiac, but you wouldn't assume that because of the reputation it has. But no, we have pretty nice houses. Now, unfortunately, I am on the lower end of it, but again, it varies based off the person and it's based off of how they live. And I'm always a big advocate on you don't have to be a product of your environment. You don't have to act like that. You don't have to be the environment you are. And for me, growing up in like what we'd say the projects, I like to say, like, I'm not gonna say I'm better than everyone. That's a very horrible mindset to have. But it's funny, like when I was in high school, I would tell people I'm from Pontiac and they would be super shocked. They're like, what? From Pontiac? No way. I would assume you lived in like Rochester, Bloomfield. I'm like, see, that's because you went off of my personality. See, you can't judge a book by the cover, can't you?
But also, isn't it so weird how Pontiac is 15 minutes that way,
Yeah,
and it's that poor. And then if you go 15 minutes that way, you get Bloomfield Hills.
yeah,
Whoa.
and I think
What's up with that?
oh, it's interesting. You never know.
But, like, how crazy is it that in just this part of Michigan, there could be such wide gaps of wealth
Mhm.
in just a 15-mile radius?
It's funny because what I did not like was that although, like, Avondale could take, like, Pontiac students as, like, students, like, we weren't allowed to, like they weren't allowed to, like, take bus routes. Idea, but it is what it is, though, like, luckily, my granny was able to take me to school every single day, and that's also why my no, my 8th grade year, I took German in high school for my first hour class because my granny to take me to school every morning instead of drive. Because I used to go 30 minutes to school. Like, you know how people drive 30 minutes to
Wow.
yeah, and fun fact, I did not tell my granny it was 30 minutes away till I it was almost the first day of school. It was but in her orderly fashion, she was just happy that I am going to school somewhere that will give me more yeah, so I remember you said something about how you were kinda surprised that Oakland has, like is 15 minutes from, like, different cities.
Yeah, okay, yes. So, our mics cut out a bit ago.
Yeah,
What we were talking about was I was saying how weird it is,
yeah,
how, like, 15 minutes that way is Pontiac,
right.
which is, Pontiac, it's a pretty poor town, and then if you go 15 minutes that way, you get Bloomfield Hills, and it's just so crazy to me how you can have such wide gaps in wealth within just a 15-mile radius.
Yeah, I can see where you're coming from. I wouldn't necessarily say Pontiac is a poor town. It does have a poor reputation for sure. And I think it does like house a lot of rural and like low income people in certain areas. So I can definitely see where you're coming from that realm. And I will say it is just also funny that the other way, it is just kind of like a completely different environment. It's like everyone would feel safe going 15 minutes the other way than the other way. And I kind of feel like I've fallen victim to that as a Pontiac native because I did go to middle school 30 minutes out from Pontiac because I did school of choice, and that's how I ended up in the district. Because I went to Avondale Middle School, which was, like, almost 30 minutes away from where I lived. And my granny was not happy when she figured out my school was 30 minutes away. Because who would drive 30 minutes away?
But she still drove you every day?
Yes, I'm eternally grateful for her for that. Yeah, and then, also that's also why I made sure my first hour in 8th grade was a high school course because they offered those. I took German. I've actually taken German for 2 full years. Yep, I took German my 8th grade year, my sophomore year of high school and college, actually.
Can you still speak German?
Oh, not as good. I like to say "Es geht mir gut."
What does that mean?
I think it's "I am good,"
Oh,
or "How are you?" Like, I know "gut" means good. "Es geht mir gut." Bro, if you're listening, I'm sorry.
alright. Don't be somebody's jerk.
Me, Max?
Yeah, maybe Max will listen.
I remember when I did studio with him in freshman year, I didn't have a German piece, but there was others who did. Like, he would be, like, the designated, like, German whisperer, you know? Like, if someone said anything wrong in German, he was always quick to correct it. He did it in chorale last semester too. We did a Brahms piece
Oh,
in
that was the
German.
most gorgeous tune.
That was my favorite piece from chorale I did last semester.
Dude, that was so good.
It made me sad because it was a lot of people's least favorite, and I was like, "What?"
Brahms is hard for a lot of people to kinda get, 'cause
Yeah.
really nothing from this time period that sounds like him. That's some of my favorite.
I and also I think the German language can sound pretty if it's done well, which is also why I do love the Brahms piece, because I understand German's a harsh language to when you hear it for the first time. Like, when I was learning it, I'm like, "What?"
Did you take German for your language credit?
I did, yes.
And was it like, how much did you retain from high school?
Just the basics, like the colors, the numbers,
There's
con
worse?
yeah. Well, like, obviously colors in that language.
Like, wait, what do you mean by colors?
Like, how like, like, perp. She told me perp was, like, purple, but I think there is another word for it.
Oh, like, you remember, like, what the colors were called. Oh,
Yeah. Oh, no, not like German colors, just, like,
yeah.
the names of the colors in German
I thought you
language.
were saying, like, the color had, like, purples in it, the way that, like
No, 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 no,
I was
no.
like, "Okay, there's a color language, what does that mean?"
No, 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 no. I remember my worst thing was conjugations. Like, he, she, is, there, we are. Like, he is great. She is great, you know? Like, sentences forming like that. Yeah, and also because it's so easy to just speak in English because that's our native language. But you also have to think it's easy for, like, German people too to speak in their language, and it's kinda hard to understand English. It's kinda like that. Like, it's like basic language for them, but for me learning it, it's, like, difficult.
I'm always thinking about people who are bilingual or trilingual and whether,
Mhm.
like, when they're speaking in their second language or third language, are they thinking in their first language and then translating? Are they
Mm.
thinking in their second language? Like, they've trained it enough to where now just their consciousness is in English.
But also, wait. I think I found some colors. I just wanted to tell you the
Oh, yeah,
colors.
please do.
So, rot, red, blaue, blue, grün, green, gelb, yellow. My favorite one is weiß, white. I love
Wait,
the
how did you say vi say that one more time.
Weiss, WEI, and it's like a special character. Yep, and I love the German language. Like, honestly, I would take German again for sure.
The 18th century name for Vice. I just didn't know if it was gonna be spelled the
Really?
same.
How's it spelled?
Weiss.
Okay, so what my German professor told me was if you can't like write it out in that special character, you can do with two S's as well.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
But with the laptop being dead, is it still recording?
To celebrate like Saint Nicholas. Like I will say I learned a lot more about the German language back in high school. Because in high school you get a full year learning the culture, while in college you only get a semester. Or at least in my case, a semester. Have you taken any languages yet?
I took Mandarin Chinese this semester, but last semester, and I failed. It was the hardest thing I've ever done.
How so? What happened?
It was just brutal. Like the professor basically taught it in the same way that like in China they teach children, which is just like very vigorous and hard and children like absorb things.
Right.
It was just like intense. Like we had to have I think 30 different characters memorized each week. And it was like,
30?
yeah, and be able to write them, say them, use them in a sentence, write them. And it was just like it was too fast paced for me. Like I was doing that. And it was crazy, like the dropout rate in that class was insane. Like each class
Really?
there would be less and less people. And then eventually there was like just 10 people.
Were you one of the 10? Or did you drop as well?
I became one of the 10 and then I think I dropped by like the end of October because I was gonna fail.
October?
Yeah, I did, like, 2 months and I was gonna fail.
Oh my gosh.
So hard.
It was only 10 of you guys by October.
Yeah.
That's a month.
Yeah, dude.
Oh my
Or end of
gosh.
October, I mean. So, like, it was 2
That's
months.
still pretty like soon.
It was hard, though. Like, I took it because I think Chinese is, like, the coolest language ever. It sounds
Mhm.
awesome. It looks sick, but, like, I don't think, like, 10 weeks is enough time to be able to speak. It was required for us too.
Yeah.
Now that was enough time for some people. It was not enough time for me. I'm very slow.
Would you retake it or would you just try again separately?
I don't know if I'm gonna take it again. My friend Jackie Plutta is planning to take it in the fall, and I might take it with her. Like maybe it'll be helpful to have like a friend to do it with. That
Yeah.
might help. But man, it was brutal. I don't know. I might take Arabic. I love
Ooh.
Arabic.
Okay. No, I love Arabic music. I also love the Arabic scale.
Oh, really? Which one?
There's specific ones?
Well, there's like a lot of different skills associated
Yeah.
with like different cultures.
I guess like I don't know. I'm not gonna say the basic one because that just sounds like what? But I saw it on TikTok. They were just playing a bunch of different scales, and one of them was the Arabic scale, and I was like, "Whoa, I love what I'm hearing here."
Arabic music is a whole other world.
Mhm.
I wish I knew more about it. I wanna get this instrument called the oud, which is actually it's like the grandfather of the instrument that I play.
Mhm.
The guitar is my favorite instrument. The guitar,
Mhm.
the lute comes from an instrument called the oud. It's a gorgeous sounding instrument, and it doesn't have frets, so you make a lot of use out of, like, what I guess here in the West we'd call microtones.
Okay.
In Mm, different Middle Eastern musical languages, there is not just 12 pitches in their collection. They actually further divide half steps into like quarter steps, which India does too. Some other places do. And it creates sounds that Western music can't make. And it's awesome. I would love to get into the same job, right? Works out of it,
Mhm.
explore those things.
Honestly, I would love to learn an instrument one day. I was like on the cusp of learning piano when I was still a music major because my old voice teacher, he would tell me I would have to learn my own warm-ups on the piano. And that was difficult because it's different when you hear it versus playing it, obviously. And yeah, I was doing the fingerings for it and I'm like, why my fingers hurt?
As a singer, if you were to learn another instrument, which one would you wanna learn? You think you'd be piano or something else?
It would definitely be piano because I feel like that's like baseline for like performers. Like if you can just get on the piano and just start singing your heart out, everyone loves it. Personally, I don't know if it's because you're hearing that, but I would love to learn the guitar.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like, I feel like singers who can play the piano and the guitar, like, that's just something they can have in their back pocket, you know?
Guitar's a great instrument because it's so transferable to so many styles of music.
Mm,
Here in the 21st century, the guitar has been implemented into, you know, almost any musical style you can think about.
but
Jazz, classical music, that's whole blues, African music. So much of the African continent uses the guitar now. Indian
mhm,
music you can use the guitar for. The guitar, like, it's almost as transferable as the drum set. Like, you can use it in
mhm.
everything. And it's a wonderful vehicle to learn different musical traditions. Like, I would encourage anybody to learn the guitar, even at the most basic level.
Now, I don't wanna ask you what your favorite type of guitar is 'cause I feel like that's like, whoa. But what's a guitar that you enjoy? Like, have you played all kinds of guitars yet?
Yeah. My main, like, style of guitar playing is metal music.
Okay,
Death metal, black metal, doom metal.
right.
Those kind of 3 styles of metal are kind of the main thing that I play.
Mhm,
In high school, I played in the school's big band, like, jazz band for 2 years, which I had a blast doing.
mhm.
Here in Oakland, I played in the big band for one semester, which was really fun. But I'm not, like, a big jazz person other than, the fundamentals and, I could get through a couple charts. I'm not really much of a jazz.
Yeah, I
The
get
thing
you.
I love to play is metal. But when I was in high school, I got really passionate about Baroque music and Renaissance music.
Right,
So music written for the lute and written for the harpsichord. And what I learned was that there's a massive tradition of people playing the classical guitar, like the Spanish nylon string guitar,
right.
but playing lute and harpsichord and Baroque guitar transcriptions. And so I purchased a classical guitar and I started studying classical guitar repertoire so that I could be able to play Baroque music. So now my kind of two main things that I gig on and I practice is metal and early music, which is kind of a general term to describe Renaissance and Baroque music.
Mhm. That's pretty cool, honestly. I guess in a way for me as a performer, I love performing. Hmm. I've done many styles so far, and I'm building that rep as well. Honestly, but my heart will always be in classical. I've done classical since I was in middle school. Like I would do solos all the time in classical. I love how my voice sounds when I do classical because it's a very different vibe, a different color when I'm singing it because I can do jazz, I can do R&B, I can do pop, I sing a cappella. I can do all of these styles, but when it comes to classical, it's a certain emotion, a certain energy in the air when you are performing classical music. And I love the energy it brings to other people. Because what I love to talk about was my Oakland Chorale audition. And I did Give Me Jesus by Moses Hogan. And I pulled that song out of my back pocket. I haven't done that song since my freshman year of high school. I was like, "What am I doing a piece so long ago?" But I gave it a shot, and it got me in the group, so guess who went well?
Yeah, you have a gorgeous tenor voice.
Thank you.
Like, we were kinda casually, seized, like, in business. Like, most of these, music major tenors have to, like, train for years just to, like, pop out of the sea every now and again.
Mhm.
You'd be singing that like it's nothing for you.
Oh, stop it, stop it. No, keep going, keep going.
Not really,
No,
like,
no, no, no. I will say, like, I am very blessed to have the voice I have, and I think it's okay to say that. And I'm definitely glad that my voice is a gift. I have all thanks to my mom for that. My mom had a really good voice in high school. She will tell me about it. She was her choir director's favorite. And I'm happy that it kind of transmitted to me back in high school. I was very appreciated for my tenor voice, and I don't acknowledge that. I sometimes keep it to myself sometimes. I'm just like, "Oh, oh, no, I'm good. I don't need to say anything." And then I went through a period of time where I was so afraid to stand out because, like, my choir director used to tell me, "If your voice is sticking out, maybe you're the problem." But it wasn't a matter of, like, when you're singing in a group setting. Like, you don't wanna be that voice that just always, out there. And then I realized that mindset I had backfired when I was in high school, and I'm really good at blending with other people. I can blend with other people's voices very well. I'm very adaptable, but that became a problem. I became too adaptable. I kind of forgot my own voice, and I forgot that I could just sing out on my own, you know? And I fear that's what kind of happened when I got to college a little bit. I was so good at adapting to other people's voices and how they would sound and not seeking out. I had to find my originality again, and when I found it, I was like, "Wait, oh, yeah, I could do that."
So did you almost struggle singing solo repertoire a bit more because you didn't have a
I'm not gonna say I struggled with solo rep. I love singing solos, but I don't know, I wasn't the type to audition for solos, you know? Like, I remember back in middle school, I auditioned for a solo and I got it, and then ever since then, I would audition for stuff. They're like, "Ugh, here comes Brandon auditioning again. Guess we're not gonna get the solo part. They're gonna give it to him anyways." And I was like, "Oh, well, if that's the case, I just won't audition for anything again." I felt like I don't know, in a sick, twisted way, I feel like people were jealous of me and I didn't want that energy in the air, so I always was just quick to adapt. Like, I had my own sound, but never used it. I was, like, so quick to just adapt to the group setting vocally because it was safer that way, and then when I realized in college it's not gonna fly like that, I had to really pull that out real fast. 'Cause I'm not gonna lie, my 1 year of music school, I've learned quite a lot about myself vocally and my strengths and my weaknesses. It's good to know your weaknesses, everybody, so you can know to improve and better yourselves, and when I found those weaknesses, I worked on those and I gotten stronger. So, yeah, I still sometimes don't like to audition for things. I don't like being, like, the center.
your solo last semester was phenomenal.
Thank you. And what Matt's talking about was I think I talked about it in my other episode. We did "Oh, What a Beautiful City," and then me and my good sister Trinity and the wonderful and talented Alexis, we all took everyone to church. We gave everyone a little praise, babe. We was just hooping, hollering, and shouting. And I felt so alive on that stage. Like, I feel like my old self was back. Cause, I haven't done a single choir solo since like what? High school? Cause I never did anything my first couple years. And I felt the most authentically branding in such a long time. So it was nice.
Was gospel music and gospel choral repertoire something that singing?
Oh, absolutely. Grew up in the youth choir. They could never push me away. They gave me the mic every single time. I always had solos in the youth choir. My pastor, he really loved my voice too. And oh my gosh, I could sing gospel songs for hours.
So your church had a gospel choir.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And then like every like fifth Sunday we would do some sort of youth choir service. I never did, like, the official youth choir the official church choir, but anytime it was, like, a youth service, I'm always there.
Do you have a favorite gospel too?
Favorite gospel tune? Oh my goodness. I have to my favorite tune to listen to or to sing?
Either one.
Either or. My favorite tune to listen to is "Your Spirits" by Tasha Cobbs and Kiera Sheard. That song really gets me every single time. I bust out into tears every time I listen to it because it made me realize, like, yes, God, your spirit is with us all the time. And it keeps me going. Absolutely. My favorite gospel song to sing, I don't know, it's been a while, but when I did praise team my junior year of high school, they would always give me Goodness of God to sing, and I loved the way my voice sounded with it, and obviously the lyrics are obviously good as well, so I guess I would say Goodness of God is a song I like to perform.
So
Yeah, I would love to go back into gospel. I feel like since I started college, it's been hard to kinda tap in religiously for a while because I'm so headstrong on, like, college and finishing it through. Like, I definitely feel like I definitely could give God some more of my time, for
so you,
sure.
you felt like spirituality was something you sort of had to
Yeah, and not proud of that, for sure, but, Yeah, it was just kinda, like, on the back burner because I remember I would go to, like, the young adult groups every Sunday during college. During music school, I was severely unhappy with where I was academically, locally. I was just down in the dumps, and I would just lie to everybody and say, "Yeah, college is great. I love my experience. I'm grateful for everything." Although everything was true, I was still unhappy, and being around everybody else and seeing how happy they were, I'm like, "What am I doing wrong? Am I not good enough anymore?" So I kinda took a step back from that. Sure. And it's been a long-lasting struggle since I've been here in college, and I feel like being in college has been like a simulation. It's just like you're stuck in this space and you kinda, like, don't know how to navigate it, you know?
Is it because of the academic challenge of, like, turning in assignments, getting your essays in?
It it's just
Or what's the hard part for you?
It's just being a person overall. Like, cause I feel like going into college, you're 18, you're freshly out of high school, you're a new adult, and you're choosing a major that'll kinda not necessarily define you, but your time here will be based off of, like, your major, and then trying to have a social life and learning how to eat right and just finding a good sleep schedule. It's a lot of factors going into college, and I'm what you call a work in progress. I will always be a work in progress. Don't intend on being my most perfect self anytime soon. And I think that's what keeps me going, honestly. Just realizing I'm not gonna be perfect. I don't know, Matt. What
That's
about
it.
yeah.
At this, summer camp I work at, there's this song that is, there's this lyric that says, "Perfection's not an option, rejection's not an option."
Ooh.
And I think what you're saying just now is just made me think of that. The fact that, like, you're not going to be perfect, and you're not gonna put that pressure on yourself to be perfect. You're gonna grow at the pace that you're going to grow.
Yeah, I think that's just, like, kinda where I am right now. Cause like, I know God is always gonna be in my heart. I know God is what's keeping me going right now. I can feel his spirit with me everywhere I go, and I can feel my family's prayers. My mom and my granny, they tell me they pray for me every single day, and I can feel that energy with me because I feel like my life could definitely have gone in a very different direction if I knew I didn't have God on my side, so
What does it feel like when you say that you feel
because I feel like I've overcame so many challenges, and I feel like I also coulda my life could have definitely ended up in a very different direction if I didn't know who God was, and I feel like because although it's like I'm not like the model Christian, like, that goes to church every Sunday, prays every single day, it's like, yeah, I'm not that model Christian, but, like, I am still a believer, and I still believe that God is here, you know? And I don't know, it's like, I used to not believe people when they say they would feel God or, like, they would feel His presence, but, like, I feel like during my time in college, it's just like, He's everywhere I'm at, honestly, because 'cause I've endured so many different and brand new struggles that I did not know how to navigate, but I've made it through it, you know?
so you almost felt like the struggling has helped you experience God stronger than before you.
Absolutely. Because, like, yeah, like, I've been through a lot of stuff, but my brain would never think, "Oh, God's helping me through it all." I'm thinking it's just I'm overcoming it because I'm overcoming it. But when I got to college, I'm like, "How am I gonna get through this? How am I gonna" like, and obviously, I don't only ask God for help when things are get rough. Obviously, I thank God for every good thing that's happened in my life too. Like, during my time in college, I've received a lot of accolades, a lot of achievements. I've overcame a lot of struggles, and I've done pretty well. Like, since my freshman year, of course, it's, like, been an upward trajectory for me, and I, like sometimes I just wonder, "How on earth did I get through any of this?" And now I'm saying I give my thanks to God, so
How old were you when you started?
ooh, I was a child because I got baptized really early. I was 8. And it was, like, one of those things where it's, like, you kinda get pushed to get baptized early because whatever, but that was when I first knew him, obviously, but I would say middle school, honestly, is when I started, like, really, like, understanding. who he was in my life personally. Because when I was younger, you're educated. You go to Sunday school, you read the Bible, all this and that, and you gain that. But then I didn't start personally feeling that until about middle school for sure.
Sure.
Yeah, like, I'm very knowledgeable when it comes to the Bible for sure. I grew up reading it. And it's kinda like versus like, like, when you read I'm not gonna say Bible's fiction, hold on, let me not go there. It's like when you read fictional books, it's like, you know what you're reading, but, like, do you actually believe it's real? No, because you know it's fictional. But me with the Bible, that's kinda how it was when I was younger. I would not gonna say it's fictional, but I would just read it just to read it because that's what I was told to do. But now that I'm older, it's just like, "Oh, it actually applies a lot to my life more than I expect," you know?
So growing up, you almost read it more as mythology, and now real applicable wisdom.
Yeah, it was a chore. It felt like a chore to read the Bible. It felt like a chore to go to church. Just like, cause like, when you grow up in that church setting, you're told to go to church every Sunday, go to youth groups, go to this and that. Like, you don't really gain your own form of understanding till you start wanting to do something for yourself. Like, I remember back in 6th grade, told stop. I didn't stop, but I started going to another church more because I felt more aligned with that church more. And I started so, like, on my own, like, I would tell my granny, "Can you take me to that church? I wanna go there." And it started going up and up from there, and I was doing pretty good, but then I started going to college, and then I just stopped. Yeah.
Well, maybe that's something that you could pursue more if you get out of here.
Mhm, absolutely. And I don't my one of my quotes in life is, "Shame is a wasted emotion." I don't like the feel of shame. I feel like shame is something you shouldn't really ever feel. Cause I think, like, as a human being, like, you will make mistakes all the time, and you can regret your choices, but I don't think you should, like, kinda punish yourself for that. I think you should give yourself grace to and realize you can change.
Where do you think shame comes from?
Where I think shame comes from? Like, I don't know the origins of shame, but I don't
The
know.
feeling.
The feeling of shame, I think it's just self-deprecation. Just think like you already talk so bad about yourself and you already have these bad and ill feelings about yourself. And you feel like any wrongdoings you do kind of adds on to that self-deprecation that you already have these negative feelings towards yourself. It's all a mindset to me, honestly. And if you let other people shame you, you will also feel that shame.
Yeah, sometimes shame emerges in a not always when we want to grow. Sometimes it does. Sometimes when we're engaging in behaviors or attitudes or speech that is harmful or is unkind, sometimes shame can kick in to be the reminder of how we're supposed to be behaving and how we're supposed to be talking. Other times, so I guess that's an example of healthy shame. But then I think shame can be just when you start dehumanizing yourself or speaking in this way towards yourself. When you start saying, all these mistakes that I'm making, all these behaviors that are wrong, this is because I'm despicable. This is because I'm gross. This is because I'm this and I'm that. Not that the behaviors are wrong, but that I'm wrong.
Mhm.
And that sort of language, I guess I struggle with. So that form of shame, I think can be damaging. And I don't say I struggle with it is that I necessarily I don't necessarily feel I think that way, but I have met people who all of the mistakes that they make in their life, it makes them hate themselves rather than hate the mistake.
Mhm.
And so shame can be our best teacher, but also can be the thing that holds us back from growing because we've attached this feeling of shame to our identity and not to the behavior.
Right.
That makes sense.
No, you are. I think that's just like the way of life with anything. Like, I feel like with anything, like the feeling of being disgusting or you're disgusted, it can be interpreted in certain ways as well. And Um, I don't know, it's like how I tied shame to me was kinda like in that negative connotation, like how you said it, and that's why I was like, I never wanna feel like that ever again. I remember my great granny, she would ask me, like, Aren't you ashamed of yourself? You should be so ashamed of yourself." I'm like, "Why though?"
Yes, sometimes you should feel that way. I think
Really?
sometimes, you know, if you stole a piece of candy from a kid's,
Mhm.
box, you should feel ashamed. Like that was messed up.
Yeah.
But I think maybe something healthier to do is instead of saying, "Oh man, I hate myself because I stole that piece of candy from that kid." Instead, I think we should say is, what made me feel so entitled that I get to have that candy and that kid doesn't? I think when you start asking questions like that, you might get to something more revealing, bigger than just the fact that you stole a piece of candy. Typically, if you're stealing candy from a kid, you probably have some weird sense of self obsession that you think that
Mhm.
this candy belongs to you and not other people. Now, that's a thing that you could work through. And I don't think you necessarily need shame to change that. Sometimes shame can be the motivator, but other times it could be helpful just to have a person to question you and say, why did you do that?
Eh,
That can
yeah.
sometimes be just as helpful as shame.
Yeah, I can see that. I guess I put shame in the same category as hate. Because, people say hate is a strong word, and I feel like there's levels to getting to hate because people like to do healthy alternatives like I highly dislike or I strongly dislike or I'm not a fan of, so they don't have to get to that word hate. And I guess for shame, for me, it's like levels to shame because I feel like you can feel bad for what you did or I can't believe I just did that. Why on earth would I do that? It's kind of like what you just said. But I guess I can put that word or classify that word shame on top of it because I feel like that kind of just like condemns it overall. Well, more so, I feel like there are ways to kind of like realize what you did wrong besides titling yourself to it, you know? Thinking, guys.
Yeah.
No, you're thinking. It's okay.
This is just asked, this just brought up a question of me,
Okay.
which is like, is the shame that we feel helpful to us? And at what point is the shame that we feel damaging? I don't think just because something feels bad, it is bad. Sometimes these bad feelings that we have are communicators telling us that the thing that we're doing is not good for us. Sometimes that's what our pain is.
Hmm.
Sometimes our shame can actually be selfish, though. I guess I wouldn't even think of an example, but I'm sure you've interacted with somebody that when something bad happens to somebody else, they make it about themselves.
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah.
have you ever been to a funeral?
Hmm.
The person stands up and starts talking about the person who died, and
Hmm.
every other word is I or me. It's like, oh, when I was with that person. Oh, and when him and me did this, and I did this. I felt like this with this person, and the person that died isn't actually getting the attention of the person speaking.
Yeah, it's like indirect, like compliments, you know? Because that saying, people only appreciate you when you're gone. But sometimes I don't believe that either. I feel like people use someone being gone to kind of make themselves feel a lot better about themselves. Or, like you said, like they will talk up themselves and say, like, what me and that person did, that and the third. Are these your memories with them? Is that what that is more so? Or are you talking about them? I guess it really depends on the person, honestly. Because if I'm just sharing simply happy memories with the person deceased, I would probably go that route too. But if you're just trying to talk about how good of a person they were or how remarkable they were, I can see where that kind of differentiates.
Yeah, for sure. It just kind of opens up to a bigger conversation, which is like, we know that unfortunately, selfishness gets involved in a lot of our day to day interactions.
Absolutely.
Unfortunately, sucks to say, but unfortunately, humans can be selfish more than they're selfless. Like I
Hmm.
heard someone say yesterday, like, I didn't have to teach my kid to be selfish. Like that just happened. Like they figured that out on their own. And I didn't have to ask them. I didn't have to train them to want things that taste good. and
Mhm.
want things to make them feel good. I had to train them to say no to those impulses.
Right.
I had to train them to be selfless. I had to teach them to be selfless. I think about that a lot. Is selflessness and empathy something that is even natural for us as people, or is it something that has to be taught?
Yeah, I mean, I grew up an only child, so sharing was not on the table for me for such a long time. And for me, it was because I didn't know how to share. It wasn't more so I didn't want to. And I was taught really fast how to share with people, how to be considerate of other people and their emotions. Like all that is comes from being taught. Those things are being taught. While being selfish for me was just always nature to me because of my environment. And for some people, it may not be the case. It may just be because of their personality, their lack of empathy. No, the amount of people who lack empathy scare me.
Yeah, because I think empathy is a taught skill. Yeah,
Really?
I do think that. I think you have to teach children empathy because I don't think children can figure it out on their own. Sometimes they can, like, there's a lot of things that can teach empathy that don't just involve you sitting down teaching them. I think experiences and, you know, media and being in the right place, anything can teach you to be empathetic about a situation. But you have to teach your kid to be reflective on those situations.
Mhm.
Because unfortunately, it's kind of our natural wiring to put ourselves before other people. It's our survival mechanism.
Mhm.
I mean, I spent my life trying that part of me off, and I don't know if I've gotten any better at it than when I was starting. I think it's a never-ending skill of trying to be less selfish.
Yeah. I will say, like, I've gained empathy really early in my life because of how I was raised. Growing up with a mom who was disabled, I feel like not having empathy makes you kind of evil. Me, an able bodied young man who's able to do all the things my mom can't do. Like, I would look at my mom and I would be sad. I would be upset that she can't do the things I could do. That's also a big thing of why I'm in college, just not only for myself, but for my mom as well. Like, she wasn't able to do the things she wanted to do anymore because she got sick. Me being her child and me being somebody who is able to do all of these things, I take advantage of it because I know she would want me to because she would want to. And I think that's a really big part of empathy. And empathy can come in different ways as well. Like when I lost my great grandmother. Oh, I'm just trying to dumping everybody. When I lost her, like, I didn't cry. I wasn't sad. I was not. Obviously, I'm, like, emotional, but I wasn't sad, no tears. I kept doing my homework. And you're probably like, "Well, just doing your homework? Why aren't you sad right now?" Because if she knew I was crying over her instead of doing my homework, she would kill me. She would be upset. And that's just something I carry with me all the time. Like, she was a very strong woman, and she would want me to carry on. So I think honoring her is the best way to show that empathy.
And it's a misconception for sure that you have to cry to be empathetic. Definitely don't have to be in tears to show that you care about something.
Yeah.
Uh, and I'm very thankful to hear that for you. Empathy gave you your stepping ground in empathy. That maybe someone who grew up with two parents that were able bodied.
Right.
And I think it's beautiful in a weird way. That
Yeah.
experience was a positive thing for your level of empathy. In a weird way, like, I don't know what it is that made me as a child so empathetic, but
You didn't have that moment?
I don't know what it was specifically, but, second grade
Hmm.
and school because they were teaching us about Christopher Columbus, like, came out of the Mayflower to the United States and, like, settled this great land, and I remember even as, like, a second grader, maybe a third grader, just thinking to myself, "That's bullshit." He didn't he didn't he did not settle this place because people were already living here.
2nd grade Matt Keats
Eh
knew what was up.
well, I recognize the fact that Well, we call these people Native Americans. Huh, what does that word native mean? Oh, they were here first. And I
Mm.
remember being in like second or third grade and being really emotional. First of all, the fact that my school is kind of lying to me and making this out as if it was like this beautiful patriotic thing.
Yeah.
And then secondly, I was just getting really emotional thinking about all the people that lived here before the colonizers showed up and what happened to these people. And I just remember having this really strong feeling of dread about what happened to all of these Native Americans. And I don't think that made me any better than my classmates, but there was something in me that felt strongly about that that did not affect the other classmates in my second or third grade class.
Yeah.
And I guess that's really what I'm getting at with this conversation is that I don't know what it is that makes a person feel empathy or what makes a person selfless, but I'm definitely interested in how that keeps it because I don't know how much of that is natural.
Mhm.
I don't know how much of that is taught. And I don't know how much of that we have to learn through our own personal self reflection on our personal experiences.
Yeah, I can say I feel like for me, I feel like empathy is definitely something that comes with an experience because if you can have that epiphany at such a young age, especially in the environment you were a part of, it could happen to anybody, honestly. And you could be the person with two able-bodied parents at home. You could still find empathy there. You can see somebody who's not like you and think, "Oh, I'm sorry. Didn't know this was happening." It can happen all of a sudden because you never know if it's never shown to you.
There's no shortage of there's no shortage of pain. Fortunately, can be a shortage of people sitting with. I think if we all took a little bit more time out of our day present with people at the height of their sufferings, that could that could do something good. That could teach people that there's more than just your life. As corny as it sounds, we really are all in this together, but we have to look at each other first.
I remember Olivia Dean said something in her Grammy speech. She said, "We are nothing without each other." And I think that is one of the most beautiful things I've ever heard because that kind of just like is the baseline of life. Like, we are nothing without each other in any way, shape, or form. You're good people, you're bad people, you're empathetic to people who don't. But anybody in your life can help shape you to be the person you can be today. And I think that's one of the most beautiful things about life.
Yeah, 100%. So much of our personality is shaped by the personalities that we've interacted with.
Right?
So much of how we've developed our speaking patterns and developed our lexicon is based on experiences and the conversations and the relationships that we've built with all the people in our lives leading up to this point.
Hmm.
If it wasn't for Julia, like those people have had an impact on the way friend.
Hmm.
Whereas if you didn't meet those two and you maybe met somebody else, you would have had a different experience
Right.
that
Because
would have taught you
yeah.
differently how to be a friend.
Yeah, and I also wanna be like, I did have, like, a ex-friend who I thought I was gonna be friends with forever, and I feel like that person also shaped me on how to be a good friend as well. Because while I do have people like Debbie and Julia who were already good friends to me, and I'm good to them as well, I take those negative experiences, and that also can shape me as well. That's how
Negative
yeah.
experience taught you what not to.
Exactly, that's how I feel about relationships. I've been single my entire life, but I watch a lot of relationships, like, good and bad, and I'm just, like, taking notes. I'm like, "Okay, maybe communication is the key to success."
It's sometimes really funny to see relationship just completely knowing the whole time it was going to train wreck. Because as
Mm.
their friend, you know, you were thinking, this ain't gonna work out.
Yeah,
But you can't say that to your
I
friend.
know, and it's sad because friendship breakups do suck. Like, I don't know, because 'cause I've never been in an actual breakup before, but friendship breakups do suck because for me, it would just happen out of nowhere. Like, they'll just tell me, "I don't wanna be friends anymore," and I'm like, "Wait, what? Why?"
Yo, and, one of my best friends in the whole world is this guy named Lucas the Rock, which I love this guy. I hate this guy so we've known each other since the 3rd grade.
That's a turn of events.
We were in the same 3rd grade class, and we've been pretty much tight ever since. And he
Mhm.
is just he's a really great dude. But, like, the amount of times, like, middle school or high school, that me, like this one time in 8th grade, he got so mad at me because we had this Discord server that we were running together, and it got to the point when there were, like, 60 people in this Discord server that, like, neither of us even really knew that well. Like, it was just this massive thing, and it was supposed to just be a Discord server for a few of our friends that play Dungeons& and Dragons, yeah. There were, like, 60 people in it, and so one day I was pulling this all-nighter, so I, like, mass deleted all these people in this Discord server that I did not know, and I remember the next day, he was so mad at me. He was so mad at me. He was going off on me because I deleted his Discord friends off of this Discord server that was just
Mhm.
meant for a few of us. Man, I think he didn't talk to me for, like, 3 months. I think for, like, 3 months, he didn't talk to me.
I
That
guess
was in that
it's
was, like,
that serious, isn't it?
9th or 10th grade.
Wow.
But, like, I mean, I wasn't mad enough.
Oh gosh, that
I
was
was chill
COVID
Yeah,
times.
I was chilling. I didn't really care, but I was like, "Yeah, he'll get over it when he gets over it." I mean, and he did, and we're homies. Like, we, we never, like, talked about it really. I mean, maybe we've talked about it. I think we've joked about it, but, like, I don't remember how we got back into talking again, but I probably just called him one day. I was like, "What's up?" And we just chatted, and, since then, we occasionally get into some heated arguments about the economy should run, or maybe how I think the economy should run. We
Mhm.
we occasionally have some disagreements, but it's nothing personal that would make us hate each other. And he knows that I love him,
Oh.
and so it's like I couldn't be more thankful to have a friend that can scream at me for deleting his Discord friends
Mhm.
and simultaneously know that if that were to happen again in 3 months, it'd be fine.
I have a friend like that too. Her name's Azaria. If you're listening, I love you, baby. Ever since I started college, we kind of haven't been talking as much anymore because I have been busy. But she's just one of those friends, like we've been friends for years, like best friends for years. And we don't need to talk every day. We're just one of those people. Like, I recently did contact her because my great grandmother passed away, and it felt like we got right back to where we left off, you know? And those are the kind of friends I appreciate. So, yeah, it's good to know you have a friend that you can have someone scream at your face and then be cool the next day because, it's all love here and there, you know?
Dude, that's a great line of dialogue right there. It's all love here and there.
Yeah. Because it's true. Like, I don't know, cause like, if your friends can reach sibling status, somebody you can just hate, but, it's just like, "Oh, okay, whatever."
I know I jokingly said I hate Lucas or that. I do not hate
Oh, no, like, I don't have siblings, so I treat a lot of my friends like siblings because I don't have any, so that's why anytime, like, we get into arguments or whatever, I'm just like, "Whatever, we'll live."
You'll get over it, and you always
Yeah.
do.
Always do. Like, me and her, we used to get in arguments all the time back when we were younger. Like, I remember I blocked her on Snapchat because it was that serious. Why did I unblock her, like, the next day?
It was not serious.
It was never that serious. And when I realized, like, anything you can do, I probably won't, like, drop you for or whatever, that's how you know we reach good friend status for sure. I've always been forgiving. It's my strength and weakness. I feel like I forgive those who don't deserve it sometimes, but I do it anyway because in my heart and my spirit, it doesn't feel well to kind of hold on to things.
Maybe it's that hard you that grew up Christian where, uh, forgive me if I misquote, uh, Jesus, but he said, "Forgive so that you may be forgiven." Prayer that Jesus instructs his disciples to pray. Um, he says he prays to God,
Mhm.
uh, the Father, forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against
Yeah,
us.
the Lord's Prayer. Yeah.
Like how can we be forgiven if we first don't forgive.
And it also ties back to having empathy. Everything ties back to each other. I feel like understanding another person's point of view can make your perspective so much more easier to understand. And I understand not everyone is perfect. Everyone has slip ups, quirks, just other things that make you imperfect, but that's okay. That's you. And obviously, I know in my life who I want in my life and who not. But in that case, I don't want to leave anything on negative energy. That's why, like, anytime, like, I do fall out with, like, friends or whoever, I appreciate a conversation about it. Like, just talking about things here and there that have been going on that you don't seem to like. Like, I value conversation. Am I good at criticism? That's another thing. We don't need to go there. I don't mind a conversation. If you feel like things haven't been working out, I would like to know because I don't want it to feel like things have ended because the lack of communication was there and we didn't feel like speaking to each other about it. Like, let's talk it out. We don't have to, like, you people fall out with friends all the time. Like, you can say we've outgrown each other. That's a pretty common thing with people. Like, it's okay to outgrow the people you once grew up with sometimes, but I'm big on closure, you know? That's kind of me.
This Earth is too challenging already. Why make more challenges? Like, why get into fights and why hold grudges in an Earth that's already so hard to live on? Why can't we just make it easier for each other, forgive each other, and be cool with one another? And if a person's annoying, just hang out with them anyways, because ultimately that's still better than leaving them alone.
Yeah, that was me. And like, I gave someone a chance and they kinda did me dirty. That's okay.
And that's gonna happen. And
Yeah.
part of being a strong person is being okay with being used and being okay with somebody stealing from you and not holding it against them is just recognizing that that's just where they are in their life and they have stuff to work out. And whatever they're doing that they hurt you, they're doing it to make themselves feel good. And as selfish as that is, it's coming from a place where they are themselves in pain and they're just doing anything they can to not feel pain.
Yeah,
And and if someone's inflicting pain on you, it's a bigger call that they need help.
right. And yeah, I guess it is what it is. For me, I'm such a it is what it is. Well, it happened. Let's move on. Like, again, I'm very go with the flow. I'm very just, okay, whatever. Like, I don't think about it too much. Like, I probably should, but I don't know. It's just like, you know? I don't know. Like, there's times like when my friends are like, "You're not gonna go confront this person about whatever." I'm like, "No, not really. I'm okay." It happened. And I am so big on making sure my character is okay, like how I'm acting is okay. Like, it doesn't matter how the other person is acting because that person's not me, and how their actions are portraying, they don't align with mine. So that more so affirms me that I am in the right state of mind to no longer be a part of that.
Well, I'm happy you've been able to develop that part of your personality because I think it shows in the way that you treat people around you.
Thank you. I appreciate that so much. And I feel like that's the same with you. I feel like you're so positive and so whimsy, but you also have those moments where you're not and you're not afraid to tell people about it. And that's something I greatly appreciate. I'm always big on protecting your positive friends all the time because you are always so positive. You deem positive to everyone around you. So anytime you're like not like that, I'm like quick. I'm like, "Yo, what's happening? What's going on? What can I do?" Because it's like, I don't know, it's like people take advantage of positive friends all the time. The ones that are always laughing and making jokes. You never know what they're going through deep down.
Dude, there was that one day when you saved my life.
I
I slipped on the ice.
he calls me a hero, but all I do is help him get
Not
to his
a
door.
he was a hero, dude. It was so cold. It was so slippery.
Oh,
I slipped on the ice and I was wearing this really heavy backpack.
oh my
It was
gosh.
laying on the ground. It's the most steak. excruciating pain because I landed like on a full block of ice.
Oh my gosh.
Ah.
Gosh.
And I was just like in there and I like crawled into my building
Yeah.
and I just like I could not get up. All I could do was crawl.
Yeah.
I saw Brandon Owens walking by and I said, Brandon Owens, I need you.
And I heard, and I knew that voice anywhere. I'm like, that is Matt Keats. I ran over to him so quick and I just saw that he was just like on the ground. I'm like, yo, are we good? And then you told me like you slipped on ice, and I'm like, oh gosh, let's get you back.
Yeah. And you like watched me and like basically like kind of dragged me up to my door. And then, believe it or not, it's Ray Valentino and
Uh-huh.
stripper Charlotte took me to the hospital.
Yes, I saw a snap of you at the hospital. I stood up and said, thank God, because you had me worried. Because you kept telling me, yeah, I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine. I'm like, okay, if you're good, you're good. Just for you to end up in the hospital. I'm like, you know what? Period.
Yeah, I had sprained some ligaments in my back.
Yeah. Well, on a block of ice? Yeah.
It was chill. I just couldn't really like sit down for a couple of days. Like I had to like kind of sit all weird. I like position myself a little
Hmm.
strange.
Yeah.
I was fine a few days.
I mean, well, because I did ask about you. I'm like, hey, yo, you okay? You good? You told me you were good now. You were walking just fine, like normal. But I guess we're going to be more careful in these winter seasons now, are we?
Well, hey, for anyone listening at home, just know if you fall, Brandon Owens will pick you up.
Oh, don't guarantee that. I'll do my hardest. I will try my best. But that could be figurative too. If you're ever feeling down, like emotionally, I'm always there to pick you back up if you need it as well. So, yeah, call on me. But Matt Keats, you have been an amazing guest on this show.
Brandon Owens, I can be more thankful to talk with you.
I feel like this is the most we've ever chatted
I
at
think
once.
so.
Yeah, like we've had good conversations, but this was like, yeah, this like takes the cake, honestly. I feel like I got to learn more about you, and you definitely got to learn a lot about me and my life story as well. And now the whole world gets to hear both of us. And I'm really excited for this.
Thanks for having me on, man.
Of course. And this is what even is life with me, Brandon Owens, your host. Stay tuned for the next episode. And again, thank you, Matt, for joining me.
Thank you, Brandon Owens.
Of course. Tune in next time.